Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back for episode 60 of the F1 2019 HAAS Road to Glory career mode. Today at a very wet Belgian Grand Prix. Obviously, I've said it every time we come to this place, but it is my favourite track on the Formula 1 calendar, and hopefully today we can have a good race out. Now, obviously, for those of you who watched the Hungarian Grand Prix last time out, if you haven't, I would highly recommend going back and checking that video out. You will have seen that we had some reliability issues in that race. So as we head to the Belgian Grand Prix today, we have actually got a whole fresh engine in the car, everything like that, you know, so I didn't bother qualifying or anything like that. So we're just going to jump straight into the action here today for the Belgian Grand Prix. Starting from the rear of the field, but obviously a fresh engine, obviously both at Belgium and then Monza next time out is pretty critical. You know, it's very important. You know, it's such a big part of both these circuits that I felt normally it's the wise decision to go with on F1 2019. But yeah, I hope everyone had a good New Year's as well. Obviously, 2020, I've not got any specific numerical aims in terms of the channel. You know, I just want to sort of get back into it, start making more content again that hopefully you guys enjoy as much as I do creating it. And yeah, a big thank you for all the continued support on the channel throughout 2019 and into 2020. You know, it's been a bit of a weird 2019, I'll be honest, looking back. But hopefully, yeah, 2020, we can try and continue to smash through it and everything like that. Perhaps my big aim should be to finally win the HAAS Road to Glory career mode. But you can see, have a look at the grid. It was a Racing Point front row lockout there ahead of Weber and Gasly. Leclerc, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Butler, Bottas and Hamilton rounds out the top 10 there with Norris and Sergio Perez, Lance Stroll and Carlos Sainz, Grosjean, Raikkonen, Albon, Giovinazzi and Capure and myself once again, both on the back row, ready for this Grand Prix. But yeah, we are ready though. It's time for the Belgian Grand Prix.
Okay, don't worry about making places into one, it's far too tight. Concentrate on a clean exit so you get good momentum down the Camel Straight.
So, Jeff just warning us there, obviously, about a very tight turn one. And with the intermediate, with the wet conditions, it could get very interesting at the start of this Grand Prix. You know, mistakes can very easily be made, you know, a pinch to the front brake, something like that. And unfortunately, I didn't realise it was going to be a wet race, so we are running quite a dry-orientated setup. So that was a bit of a mistake on my half there. But we are ready, though, on the grid for the Belgian Grand Prix. Round 14 of the season, and it's lights out and away we go then for the Belgian Grand Prix here at Spa-Francorchamps. Now, getting off to a fairly tentative start. Once again, the AI just seemed to be so superior, and then braking much later down in towards turn 1 there. I actually tried to have a look at the inside of my teammate Grosjean off the start there, but a bit of a wobble on the exit of the corner there, and just struggling to get the power down as we head down the hill in towards Rouge and Rally on here, side by side with Giovinazzi there. I think we're going to have to bail out that one. No, we keep the nose in, a bit of contact. Giovinazzi, you know, he squeezed us out last time out. We're going to do the same to him this time, and him and Capure almost come together there, and that could have been quite a big crash on the opening lap of this Belgian Grand Prix there as we head down the Camel Straight though behind Alexander Albon and Kimi Raikkonen here. And there was some wet running in qualifying yesterday. It was only a bit of intermediate conditions, everything like that. But like I said, you know, we didn't bother with qualifying. We saved the engine, put the new one in the back of the car, and yeah, just hopefully today we, you know, a bit of a step into the unknown, I think it's safe to say, in this race. If I'm not mistaken, it has been some changeable conditions before. Obviously, last season here at the Belgian Grand Prix was actually where we got our last ever podium in the HAAS Road to Glory career mode there. That was obviously a changeable conditions Grand Prix, and yeah, that was quite high in Season 2, but obviously we'll wait and see if we can get the same sort of luck in Season 3 here as we come through Pool on the first time. Yeah, this is really tricky conditions at the moment there, and not often do I find F1, you know, this game just so damp as it is around the Belgian Grand Prix circuit. I don't know what it is, but it just seems to be sparse on this game, whether it's obviously a low downforce setup, everything like that. But yeah, generally speaking, I wouldn't say struggle in the wet, but it's definitely, you know, it's a different experience, definitely, around this circuit there. As we make a bit of a mistake as we come out of Stavolo there, and losing a little bit of ground to Albon and Raikkonen just up the road. But obviously we just need to try and settle down and try and rhythm, work out the braking points, get the tyres up to a good working temperature, and yeah, just try and settle down in this Grand Prix and see where we end up as we head down in towards the bus stop chicane on the end of lap 1 here, all over the back of Albon and Raikkonen though, so making big gains through there and just struggling so much with the wheel spin in 5th gear at the final corner there, really just trying to get some heat into the rears as we go for a bit of a lock-up in towards turn 1. They're just about to get the car slowed down fairly tidily nonetheless. They're trying to get the drive off the exit of turn 1 there through La Source as we head down in towards Eau Rouge. And Radion once again here, struggling a little bit with the confidence there. A bit of a moment, bit of a wobble as we head over the top through Radion there. And that could have been very, very bad there. But luckily, kept it pointing in the right direction. And out of all of that, just look at the extra power we've got over the Toro Rosso there, right around the outside. Sorry, the inside even, I should say. And yeah, straight past Albon before we even got into the braking zone there. And yeah, we are now up into P17 of the Grand Prix. So making slow progress at the moment, but slowly but surely trying to settle down in this race here. End of lap 2, start of lap 3, getting a big lock-up in towards turn 1. They'll almost completely plough into the back of Kimi Räikkönen. No idea how we avoided that one there. But yeah, that could have been quite a big incident between myself and Kimi there. But yeah, at the moment, we're just trying to settle down, get into a rhythm, and moments like that certainly aren't helpful as we get a bit of a wobble through Eau Rouge and Radion once again there. And yeah, just struggling at the moment a bit to try and find the grip. But anyway, though, heading on now to lap 4 of the Grand Prix. There's still, you can just see fishtailing all the way out of turn 1. Really still struggling to get the tyres up to temperature here as we head through Eau Rouge and Radion there. There's yellow flags out, and Hamilton out of nowhere in the middle of the road. What was that? Well, I mean, we're out of the Belgian Grand Prix. Let's have a look at that on the replay. There was no way I was going to be able to avoid that. Let's have a look from my point of view first of all then. As you can see, coming down through Eau Rouge there, you can see just, actually, we drop it before we even clip the inside curb there. And Hamilton, as we try to straighten out the car there, is parked on the exit of Radion there. You can see he actually drops it, trying to go side by side with the Mercedes, wallops the outside wall, and then tries to rejoin the track. And obviously nothing we can do, slightly offline, but that was a horrendous rejoin attempt by Lewis Hamilton there. And yeah, that was a big accident here at Spa. We just got that tank slapper and then suddenly a Renault out of nowhere. I know Hamilton actually qualified out of position yesterday, a bit lower down the field than he would have wanted there, but completely dropping it by himself. There was no contact between him and Devon Butler, and, well, he's put both of us out of the Belgian Grand Prix. And you guys know me. If we retire, we retire from a Grand Prix in the HAAS Road to Glory career mode there, and I was a little bit gutted. That's yeah, not quite the way we wanted to start 2020, I'll be honest, but it's definitely been a good start for Red Bull so far today there. But yeah, not the race we wanted, not the race we needed. And, well, if you can even call it a race, we barely even got started. So yeah, not quite the way we wanted to start the new decade, but, you know, I race. Yeah, that's what happens sometimes in racing. It can't always go your way at the end of the day. And yeah, I want to apologise as well. You know, it was a bit of a letdown in the end, that race, but like I said, you know, it happens sometimes in Formula 1. It's never quite always going to go your way. But we'll try and come back stronger next time out at the Italian Grand Prix. But yeah, it is Verstappen who heads home a Red Bull 1-2 in the career mode there. With Sebastian Vettel, championship leader, that gap must be coming down so quickly at the moment. You know, Red Bull start the second half of the season after the summer break with the strongest start they possibly could at the end of the day. They're in some tricky conditions at the Belgian Grand Prix. But yeah, not much to say, unfortunately, from that race in the end. And yeah, like I said, apologies, not quite how I wanted to start the new decade. But having a look, though, at the race results, it was Verstappen who won that Grand Prix with the fastest lap, full 26 points for him, ahead of Gasly, Vettel, Leclerc, Weber, Hulkenberg, Perez, Devon Butler, Norris, and Daniel Ricciardo picks up his first points of the World Championship there since his return, you know, all the way back Austria Season 1. Obviously, he left Formula 1, and he's finally got some points on the board on his return. Not the most successful return with Mercedes, but a return nonetheless. There, Bottas in the Ferrari in 11th there, ahead of Sainz and Lance Stroll 12th and 13th, ahead of my teammate Romain Grosjean there in 14th. But yeah, after that, I'm going to guess, obviously, it was the two Toro Rossos and the Alfa Romeos rounding out the finishes there, and myself and Hamilton obviously both not making it through to the end of that Grand Prix. And yeah, I've still got no idea what Hamilton was even trying to do there. Just rejoining the track in one of the most dangerous places in Formula 1. You can see Raikkonen, Albon, Giovinazzi, Kvyat rounds out the finishes, and yeah, myself and Hamilton both not making it through to the end of the Grand Prix. Not quite the way either of us wanted to start the second half of the season there. But in terms of the Drivers' Championship, Vettel now just a 4-point lead at the top of the table there. Gasly has now jumped Nico Hulkenberg as well, with the Renaults of Hamilton and Leclerc in 5th and 6th. The Ferraris of Weber and Bottas still in 7th and 8th. Myself in 9th ahead of Norris, Perez, Devon Butler, Ricciardo, and obviously Grosjean. Both McLarens, Giovinazzi, Albon, Raikkonen, and Danny Kvyat still at the rear of the field there. And yeah, now just my teammate, both McLarens, Alphas, and Toro Rossos yet to score in Season 3. In terms of the Constructors, only one change, and that is at the top of the standings there. Red Bull retake the lead at the top of the Constructors' Championship from Racing Point there. I'm sure that's going to be a titanic battle right the way down to the end of the season between those two teams. Just 6 points separate them as we head in towards round 14 of the season. Next time out at the Italian Grand Prix.